Hi everybody, welcome back to 100% Max. So this is your match preview going into the game against Liverpool on Saturday, 7:45 kickoff at St James's Park. And Liverpool will be hoping to come away from this game with all 3 points, but it's going to be our job to keep them from getting that and hopefully winning the game ourselves, as it will help us propel ourselves up one place into 12th. But going into this game, there's been some promising news with the fixture against them on Wednesday night against Barcelona at the Nou Camp, where they ended up losing 3-0 against Barcelona. So that means that for the second leg at Anfield, they're going to have to put all their players into one basket. They're going to have to go with a full strength side against Barcelona. And that means that with us being sandwiched between the two fixtures, Jurgen Klopp is now going to have to think, do I want the Champions League or do I want the Premier League? And with them 1 point behind Man City in the Premier League, if I was a Liverpool fan, I would be wanting Jurgen Klopp to prioritise the Premier League over the Champions League, as they're already 3-0 down to begin with against Barcelona. And as anybody knows, Barcelona are a dominating team. It's pretty hard to even get 1 goal against them, let alone 3. And especially with Lionel Messi as well, he can always produce that little bit of magic. So I think Jurgen Klopp's going to want to field a slightly weaker team against Newcastle on Saturday, and that works in our favour in the fact that we can then focus on the game, as they're going to be attacking us a lot more, as they're going to want to get the points on the board early, get a goal early and sit back on the defence. They're not going to want to use too much energy in this game, especially with Barcelona right after we, so that works in our favour, and the fact that we can then just sit back, wait for them to attack. We can then hit them on the counter, and just take the game from there. But this is more than likely going to probably be Rafa's last home game, for Newcastle United, with him not signing that contract yet. And the more it gets said, the more it is bitterly disappointing to hear that Rafa Benitez has still not signed a contract with for to renew his contract. And it's all Mike Ashley's fault at the end of the day, because he's not bowing down and giving Rafa Benitez what he wants. This is a Champions League winning manager. Every club he's went to, he's won a cup at that club. And, he can win the cup at us. He could win an FA Cup, a League Cup. Would be happy with that at the end of the day. And he's got this massive, big game plan that he wants to do in Newcastle. And Mike Ashley's standing right in the way of that, is a big blockade, blocking everything, blocking the future growth of Newcastle, and it's just a disappointment at the end of the day. But looking at Newcastle's squad going into this, we're going to have no Sean Longstaff, no Florent Lejeune, and no Miguel Almiron, as they all remain sidelined. The availability of Jamal Lascelles and Jose Perez is still a question as well. Hopefully the two of them will be fit, because we need Lascelles at the back, commanding the back line, especially against a team like Liverpool, who are looking for the 3 points to win that Premier League title, and especially need Jose Perez up front as well for that goal-scoring edge. With the way he's been banging in goals of late, he's an absolute delight to watch with the way he's been going at the moment. But looking at Liverpool's team, they're going to have no Adam Lallana, as he remains unavailable for the game. Naby Keita picked up a knock in the game against Barcelona at the Nou Camp as well on Wednesday night, so he's probably not going to be in contention for the game now. And, Firmino as well, he has a problem, so he might not be in contention for the game. Alexander-Arnold as well has got a back injury, so he's probably not going to be available for the game neither. And then, you've got to think, will Jurgen Klopp be using Mo Salah against or Sadio Mane, with Barcelona being right after? There's a lot of questions to be answered, going into this game. And I think, to be honest, Jurgen Klopp's going to field a pretty weak side. Not too weak, of course, because he's going to still want to go for that Premier League title, but he's going to have his eyes on that Champions League. It's always the thing that them European managers like, they always like to get the Champions League title. It's one of their things. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Heading into this game, I'm going to go with Newcastle come away from this game with maybe a 1-0 win, stealing a late goal on the counter. Maybe a Jose Perez scoring it as well if he's fit. But let us know your score predictions down in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel or you're new to the channel, please subscribe as it helps the channel grow. Until next time, I'll see you all later. And how about the lads?